Cut that.
Welcome back to Nerdy Couch. We're rocking out here, like usual.
Shake everybody.
Like usual, we're rocking out. We're going to be talking about Secret Invasion. All right. The Marvel Studios Disney Plus TV series. There's only 6 episodes.
So short.
6 episodes to take care of this, and you got to assume that there's going to be some big Easter eggs and some big pieces of information that they're going to want to take over to the next property.
Why does everything keep getting shorter?
I get you, man. Like we've got all this great content, and they just want to shove it into a very small amount of episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's our biggest beef about most of these, shows.
Like you could have made a 2-part movie and just called it.
Yeah. I'm excited for this. I had high hopes for it.
Me too. Although I did read that the premiere got the lowest ratings.
Yeah, you know what? This show is not. It's much different than some of the other Marvel shows. It has much less action. It's kind of like it is what it is. It's a spy show.
Yeah.
Right, and it's a it's a spy show. And there's a lot of people out there, I think, that are going to enjoy this because of that, and because it's not super, Avengers-esque. Right?
I hope so. I really do.
But I'm gonna be fair. I don't see it being one of their bigger properties, like one of their bigger successes. But I've been enjoying it. Right?
I love it. Right off the first episode. And we are doing a 2-part just because we were busy. Life got in the way. So we are. I watched episode 2 today. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a great season, I think. So we start this off by a little talk between Ross and Prescott. Yeah.
And Prescott seems like a nutcase.
He's a lunatic.
Here he's got all these. I don't know, man. There's you say those conspiracy theorists are lunatics until they're right.
Yep, that's right.
Until they're right.
So it kind of leads you to the whole, was Everett Ross a Skrull the entire time then?
Yeah, because we do find out after this conversation that he is. And I don't know.
Like, he couldn't have been, because you would think that in Wakanda they would have been like, hey, that guy's not human.
Yeah. I think that at some point he was snatched up. He was put into one of those pod things. They stole his memories and stuff like that. And it's hard to say how recent that was. You could say that about a bunch of characters, like if they became Skrull or if they were revealed as Skrull. How recent were they abducted, essentially, right?
Which is the whole premise of this show, really.
Because you take like a character that has had a lot of impact in the MCU, and if you make them a Skrull from the beginning, like Rhodes, right?
Yeah.
People speculate that he might be a Skrull. If you take that away, the moments he had, like him crying for Tony.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell people all of a sudden he was a Skrull the whole time, that tarnishes that.
Yeah.
One of the biggest movies in their catalog, and that tarnishes one of the bigger moments.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, I would agree.
You have to be careful about this, right? Maria, okay?
Oh.
Maria Hill. I theorized way back when that she might be a Skrull.
Yeah.
Right. Turns out she's not.
Yeah.
Right.
But the potential was definitely there for
it was definitely
her
there.
whole thing.
And then
any of the Shield agents, really. When you're looking at them.
Popular character. I love her in this.
So do I.
Right. And sad face.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
All right.
I loved her for the time that she had.
Yeah. Oh, spoilers.
And because she's been around since, just so we're clear, we're definitely spoiling some things.
Maybe not so much for the first one because it's a week old and hopefully everybody's seen it by now.
Yeah. But Maria's been around since what, like Iron Man?
She's been around. I want to say Iron Man. It's very early and it's a beloved character, I think. Right. She is the agent.
Yeah.
Right. If it's not Fury, it's her.
Well.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't want to say anything because I love Coulson too.
That's right.
Like if that's Coulson's my guy.
They really shat on that, by the way.
Yeah, if they had
that was one of those things that really upset me was the whole breakaway from Shield.
I think that Shield. They really could have brought that into the MCU nicely. Not having Coulson around just eats at my soul. Definitely eats at my soul, man.
And Shield was a great show and had a lot of potential to be that crossover show, the first crossover show, but they squandered it. So
another character that we're reintroduced to here is Talos. Talos is a good character.
I've enjoyed his development for sure.
His development is his development.
Yeah. They're adding a ton more, and just in the Captain Marvel movie.
Captain Marvel, which is a controversial movie.
Yeah.
A lot of people disliked it. I didn't mind it. It's not my favorite, but it was a fine movie and stuff like that. I think Brie Larson did a fine job. Whatever, right? But we got this character out of it, who was, I think he moonlighting as Nick.
Yes, I think he was.
While Nick was on the ship.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think so. I might be wrong.
You're right. I think you're right.
Call me out on that, people, if I'm wrong. Definitely call me out if I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot.
Call him out.
Yeah.
Don't call me out though.
Okay.
I don't like it. It hurts my feelings.
But he's here because essentially Nick's come back from his, what do we want to call it? His
space station. Yeah.
His spacecation.
Spacecation, yeah.
All right, which I'm sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure Nick's always working.
Well, they say Fury. They keep talking about in these couple of episodes and stuff that he hasn't.
Nick Fury, by the way.
Oh my god.
Nick Fury, by the way.
Yeah.
If anybody remembers this, then let us know for sure.
That is a lot of leather.
That's a lot of. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The actual Nick Fury.
They talk a lot about him having not been the same since the blip.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that this show is underlying Nick Fury's story.
Yeah.
Right. This show it's about the Skrull invasion, but it really is the story of Nick Fury, his fall and rise, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Because they're calling him old and they're calling him out of touch and out of practice and stuff like that, right?
Right.
And maybe he is a little bit, right? But he's very vulnerable right now. in a sense. Much
He
more
is.
so than much more so than he has been in the past.
Well, and Maria calls him out that, he's always been a few steps ahead of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like he's behind and
Yeah,
somebody's going to get hurt.
he's slipping a little.
Yeah.
Right? Can he be reliable?
Do you think that
theory time.
do you think that, because I feel like this is it for Nick Fury, this show, the end of this show, I think he's going to die.
You think this could be it for Samuel L. Jackson's performance in the MCU?
I think he's going to go out in a blaze of glory. But I think that this could be it.
Okay, so if I'm being completely honest with you,
mm-hmm.
I don't think that this show is big enough for his demise.
No?
I think that if Nick Fury goes down, it has to be in a major film.
So in the next big jam.
Yeah, I don't think he can go down in this show. I think that by the end of this show, he will rise up again.
Yeah, and just kind of be like at the top of his game again, or close to the top of his game.
Because it's proven he's still got it type deal, right?
Okay.
I don't think this is too small for the end of Nick Fury.
Yeah.
As far as I don't want to see him end in this. If he's going to end, I want to see it in a big film.
You want to see it at the theater?
Yeah.
Well, I don't even remember what's coming up next.
I don't want to see it happen. Okay. I don't want to.
What's coming up? What's coming up theater wise?
I'm not sure. I can't think right now.
Here, I'll try and
I'll try and
take a peek while you think about things.
We can look it up real quick.
Look at your life. Is that what you're doing?
Just kind of contemplating my life decisions.
Your existence.
My existence.
I want to say the Marvels might be the next big jam. November 10th, 2023, the Marvels. Now that would be suiting, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
The only other thing is Kraven the Hunter.
Kraven the Hunter is a Sony property.
Yeah.
So
and that's in October.
That won't be it. I'm trying to remember the trailer for the Marvels and whether Nick Fury is in it.
I don't recall seeing him in it.
So anyway, the point that we're trying to make here, and that I'm trying to make, is that I think it's got to be a bigger bang,
big stage.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if he doesn't go,
we can make a friendly bet on that, though.
What are we betting?
So we can sort that out later, though.
All right.
Okay. But what is it? Talos?
Talos? Yes.
Talos. His little girl, Gaia, has grown up a little bit.
Yep.
And she's working for the bad guys, apparently.
Yeah. What's she from?
She's from Game of Thrones, the actor.
Ah, yeah.
She's
it's such
the Dragon Queen.
Big difference without the intricate blonde hair.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sure. It was driving me nuts the entire time.
This is like your first time like putting that together?
Yeah. I was, because I kept staring at her and going, "Who is that?"
Yeah,
but it's
definitely
Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'll be darned.
Great actor.
I love her.
She's working with this bloke, who is at this point the main baddie. Gravik. That's him exploding stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
One does when you're a baddie.
This whole episode is a big a big scam, kind of like they've tricked Nick Fury,
which says a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
That goes back to what Maria said.
Yeah.
Right. with what Hill said, and maybe she's right.
I feel like she's not, because when Gaia contacted Talos to say, I'm going to mark the bags and this and that, my first thought was she's playing them.
Yeah.
And if that's my average guy saw it and Nick Fury didn't pick it up.
Yeah, there was a convincing moment when Talos and Gaia met, and they obviously hadn't seen each other in a while, and they hug, and it's emotional.
Well, she didn't even know her mother was dead.
Yeah. There was a moment where it was believable that that she was trying to do good.
Sure.
Right. And then the whole shell game with the backpacks.
Yeah.
And Nick Fury just kind of slipping.
Yeah. He didn't pick it up. I love your cup.
Yeah. Got myself a nice Spider-Man cup here.
That's nice.
A little children's cup.
I use one of those Spider-Man cups to wash my children's hair.
Yeah. I just go get them. I've got like a whole bunch of them. That's what I drink out of because I'm a child.
Yeah.
All right.
That's nice.
But there's a moment where Nick Fury is walking through the streets.
Yeah.
And he sees a bunch of people in kind of like awkward circumstances.
Yeah.
And they're all staring at him. And then the little girl with the ball that drops. And then you find out later that those are all those are all Gravik changing to get his attention, to draw him out.
Yeah. Now, I don't think we have a photo of it, but this British MI6 intelligence woman seems to be a big portion of this jam too. And I'm kind of curious about her because she's not playing like this huge role, but she's definitely playing parts in both of these episodes that I thought were interesting.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
she's a badass. And by the second episode, we get to see just how badass she is.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see more. Maybe you almost have to consider that we're losing a big character here.
Right.
So always happy to have not a replacement. I don't like to say replacement, but
no.
Well,
and it's almost like she's because she's a British MI6 thing. It's almost like we're getting like a fusion of like a Nick Fury and Peggy kind of jam.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So because Nick Fury has been led away, it results in Maria or Hill getting shot.
Yeah.
By none other than what she thinks is Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Now, when she says it was you, I'm confused whether, I'm not confused, but I'm left to think, is she warning him? Or is she simply saying, you shot me?
Or is she saying, this is a result of the slipping
you did
that
this.
she was talking about? Because she had said it, right? Not that long before this scene. Was that, somebody's going to get hurt. That whole line that she says.
Yeah, she didn't know it was going to be her, but...
No, and she ends up shot and dying in the streets of Russia.
Yeah. Yeah, so, was it Gravik?
Gravik, yeah.
He posed as Fury, shot her, knowing that it's somebody that she trusts.
Yeah.
And then he blows because the whole purpose is that there's supposed to be bombs
Yeah.
in these bags, right? Well, the bombs are already placed.
Yeah.
And they are triggered, and the whole thing is that they're trying. If I'm not incorrect, the purpose is that they're trying to start a war.
Right. Russia, U.S. They want the war between those two.
Yeah.
And because if nukes fly, I think they mention it in this episode that, the Skrulls are not affected by that radioactivity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're actually living at like an old abandoned nuclear plant in Russia.
Yeah, that has radioactivity going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this one kind of ends off like that.
It really was rather abrupt too with that ending.
Yeah.
Like I was doing one of those look around, look at my wife, like what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like they just killed off Maria in a random instant, and it was very brief and quick and final.
Yeah. And it felt final.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're in these movies, you're always left to wonder whether someone can come back.
Yeah.
Makes no sense for her to come back.
No.
Right? And her Skrull impersonator, was it Soros? What was her name? Talos' wife.
Yes, it's S something.
Yeah, not super important, but
no.
Because she's already gone, that it's not her.
No, Soren.
Soren. It's that it's not her posing, so that
right.
it's not a setup, it's not a fake. It's the real Hill.
Yeah, because she gets shot, and when Skrulls die, they revert back to their.
And then skipping over to the second episode, when there's wait.
Why are you skipping to the second episode?
Well, because we're pretty much done with this one, you silly.
Well, then we need to take a quick break in between, obviously.
Fine, then.
You can't just skip.
Don't
be ridiculous.
I skip to Lulu, my darling.
Oh my god. Well, enjoy the break. 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, we're back.
What's up?
So I was saying,
yeah.
In the second episode. All right. Yeah. Of the secret invasion.
The invasion that is not known.
It's not known.
Right.
That it definitely confirms Hill's death with the funeral and the talk that Fury has with Hill's mom.
Yeah.
Right. That's it kind of solidifies that and stuff. It's very sad in my heart.
It is. There's no Tahiti.
No, not at all.
And if you know what that means, leave a comment in the comments.
Yeah, I would really like to know who will get that reference.
I hope somebody does.
I do too. I truly hope so, because that's a pretty cool person right there. Okay.
But yeah, this episode starts with those flashback pieces, though, right? Like back to, what is it, 85 or whatever.
So it takes place roughly about 2 years after the Captain Marvel movie, I think.
This one, I think they show a flashback
even further.
Like the first flashback is during the Captain Marvel movie, basically.
Yeah.
And they skip forward a bit.
Oh, are you talking about the Rhodes talk? Or before? Because the Rhodes talk took place during.
Yeah. No,
right? So
they do 2 flashbacks. They do one, and then they do a X amount of years later, and then they do this flashback.
and then this scene is where he's quite a bit younger, still wearing his patch.
Yep.
All right, and he's talking to a group of Skrull. This is actually younger Grievous. Why am I calling Grievous?
Grievous, holy!
I'm on the wrong property here.
Right before he becomes a robot.
Grievous.
Oh graphic. It's graphic.
Hey, you know what? It's close. For me, that was pretty good.
That was solid, actually. It started with a G. That's pretty awesome.
Same kind of similar sounds type deal. Right? We're crossing our genres here. Our
Disney genres.
Hey, it's still Disney.
As a fun fact, because I had read just before I watched this episode, actually, something Samuel L. Jackson had been talking about in an interview, and it was about he was kind of just presenting a warning to like young actors and stuff like that about the AI that they have now and the whole de-aging piece and whatever. And basically he was saying, you know, I always check no when they're talking about potentially using his image. Like after he's gone from either from Marvel or from this earth, right? And because I mean, if you're looking at this scene, the de-aging technology and what they can do with AI right now is
and
incredible.
That's not a super great photo of the de-aging of Samuel L. Jackson, but I mean, watch the show. It's really good. Actually, it's better than the Luke Skywalker. De-aging.
Well, even with that Luke Skywalker one, isn't that the one that random dude from the internet deepfakes did like a different take on Luke Skywalker's de-aging and did it better than the actual Marvel studio and then or Disney's Star Wars studio and got a job about it because
that's so fantastic, solid. Right?
Which is cool.
I love seeing that. It's just like in the new Spider-Verse, how the young kid filmed and created the Lego scene. It's just awesome at that point when regular people can kind of take their passion and it becomes something cool in a film, right? If we're talking about AI, I think we have to touch base on the opening credits and how it is completely. I think you might have seen Jarvis. There you go, buddy.
Hey,
bud. The opening credits was done all by AI.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people are not happy about that, saying it's going to take jobs away from people and stuff like that. Not realizing that AI is not perfect yet, and somebody spent countless hours meticulously telling that thing what to do.
Yeah.
All right. It was a cool opening credit. Doesn't bother me a bit. Whatever, it is what it is. They tried something new. Someone's always got to have something to complain about, though.
I'm scared of AI.
Well, it's gonna take. It's gonna take over. Skynet for sure. Skynet for sure, buddy. Yeah. So this scene here, he's having a talk with the Skrull, and he's asking them to join in a secret mission, essentially, right?
Basically, just taking care of the Earth.
And then, in return, he'll find them a home. And they're up for it for now, right?
You keep your promise, I'll keep mine.
Yep. There's in this scene. There's also like a younger Gaia, as well. We see, and then a lot of them, they have to take on human faces, so that they can, portray, human nature and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, then we get this scene here, where Nick and Talos are in the train, and this is a good scene.
It's a great scene, yeah.
This is where, like, there's a lot of action scenes that we're missing, but we're seeing a lot of good dialogue in this, and that's why I say it's a different kind of show than we're used to.
And like putting the whole Disney conglomerate and everybody's against the giant corporation thing, they do an amazing job with Marvel Studios of taking each one of these shows individually,
making them feel different,
its own thing. And whether it's like those nostalgia pieces or whatever, like WandaVision had some amazing nostalgia pieces.
Yeah, but everyone had a problem with that too.
I know. And the buddy cop of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or like,
all great in their own way.
They take each one of these shows, these television series pieces, and make it its own individual thing, and I love it.
Like the WandaVision, a lot of people had a lot of problems with it, saying it's a slow start. If you were a person that grew up recognizing those styles and shows, you were loving it.
Yeah. And even some of the stuff that, I just recognized from like my mom's era or whatever.
Yeah.
Was still
still nostalgic, and it felt good, right?
Exactly.
And this is good in its own way that doesn't feel the same as any of the other shows.
No. And it's funny that people shit on it because they complain that, each one of these shows has these different styles and things, but that at the same time, they complain when the movies come out and they're the same kind of movies, like these
it's like people who shit on a band for having a song that sounds slightly different than the rest of their stuff, but if they don't make something different, then they're just old and stale. It's
like when people complain about Nickelback, and they're still one of the biggest like shock rock genre bands that there are, and everybody complains about them, but at the same time, they're still selling out stadiums and doing.
And the same with the Marvel universe. They're killing it. Even their stuff that's not great is still pulling in like tons of money.
Well, look at She-Hulk. It was a shit show and still pulled in.
And then we got in trouble just for saying it was bad.
Yeah,
and it had.
We give fandom a bad name, guys.
This has 6 episodes, and She-Hulk had way more than that. Not liking that.
No, I'm not.
There's some really good conversation going on here where Nick's playing a game, trying to get some more information out of Talos.
Tell me something I don't know about.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's a good game. In fact, I plan on playing it. So
you get a lot of dirt out of the kids, eh?
Yeah.
Tell me something I don't know about.
Crush them.
Oh yeah. So to the point where like they kind of get into a little. These guys are friends at this point, right? Or they have been in the past, and they get into a heated argument to the point where he kicks him off the train.
Yeah. Well, when you find out that there's a million or so alien species just kicking around on the planet, and your alien buddy didn't give you a heads up.
Yeah, well, why hide that? Right? Like the handful of Skrull that he thought was here truly is more of an invasion than he thought it was.
Yeah. Like a million?
And he's like there's like a racial thing going on here. He's like you're not, we can't coexist.
Yeah, we can't coexist as people, as human beings.
Yeah.
Like throw an alien species in there.
Yeah, we can't exist with you guys. He gets upset about it, right?
as he
really
should.
good scene though.
Um,
Well, because he's going to be the guy who's got to clean up the mess,
yeah,
right?
and like a million Skrulls. I realize there's 7 billion people on the planet, but these are creatures that can become
Whoever
anybody,
they want, right? And like
and are
case in point,
how many times stronger than a human being just alone.
And case in point is right here.
Yeah.
This meeting of the council where there are, high value figures here that have been taken over by the Skrull.
Yeah. Prime Minister's the leader of NATO, prominent broadcaster.
Yep.
On what I thought was kind of like Fox News, which is a joke, but still manages to amp up the crazies.
Yeah. All that fake news.
Oh,
all right.
I love it.
So not Talos, but I'm gonna call him Grievous again.
Yeah, Grievous. Gravik.
Gravik. He comes in and he's a bit of a big shot.
Yeah, Grievous.
You're gonna see like all these arms come out of his sweater. He's a bit of a big shot. These like a lot of these guys, whether they want to or not, they respect him.
Well, they have to because he's kind of a crazy person.
Like he's crowned. What is it? What is he crowned? He's crowned king shit in this. Like
yeah, he's king shit of Turd Island.
Yeah.
No, he's just kind of the leader of the Skrulls that aren't having it.
Yeah, but they pretty much elect him to be.
They do now, yeah, as the general.
Yeah. By the end of this meeting, they elect him general.
Yeah.
Right. He puts the one guy pretty much puts him in place. He's calling for war.
Yes.
All right. I do like that he says he likes dogs
more than people.
I can agree with him sometimes.
I wasn't upset about it.
No. The only person that doesn't really want to follow his lead is the lady there, and then she's just like, oh, they just let her go.
Yeah. And it's crazy when he whips out his multiple lightsabers.
Yeah, definitely.
Just starts cutting people up.
See, he is a general now.
Yeah, it's General Grievous.
General Grievous. But I have a feeling that they've let her go out of purpose.
Yeah, I don't feel like he's one of those people that just does something out of the kindness.
Nothing's without reason with this guy.
And he knows. I'm sure he knows that she's going to contact somebody, right?
Yeah. And it's all going to get back to them, and it's all part of the plan.
Right.
Right? It's all part of the plan. Meanwhile, we're having crazy people in the background. Introduce yourself, little man.
He can't hear you. I'm on headphones. Introduce yourself.
Hello.
Who are you?
Good job,
I'm
bud.
Raccoon.
That's Raccoon.
Yeah.
Our good friend Raccoon.
We're going to be streaming Diablo at some point.
Yeah, if anybody wants to see some Diablo content, let us know.
Yeah.
We've got this scene in the meantime where Road is meeting with Fury.
I'm on live.
And,
you're not on live. Get out of here.
Oh, it's a recording, silly guy.
Yeah, it just says live. Don't point at the...
Yeah, our meeting with Road
Bye.
and stuff is an awesome... This is a really good scene, really good conversation.
I love this scene. I'm going to wait until clown mode moves out of the shot.
Takes place during the Captain Marvel movie. Like, we actually see a portion of this in the movie.
Take the shot, Dad.
Right? I've got Jarvis down here bugging me.
Yeah.
Coming in and out of my desk and stuff. Yeah, we see part of this scene in the Captain Marvel movie, I believe.
Do we?
I believe so.
How?
Because it takes place during that. No, it doesn't.
This does not. You're lying.
Where did we see a little bit of this?
I don't know. You're crazy. You don't see old Fury.
No, you don't. There's a similar scene in that movie then, I think.
I'm gonna have to watch it because Rhodes wouldn't have been there.
It was in another one then. I don't know.
There's no War Machine in there. He didn't even exist.
No, he's not War Machine right now. Okay? He's just
Well,
Rhodes.
he is War Machine.
I
right
do
now.
like later on when he's talking to Fury and he's like, Fury comments on his suit and he's like, yeah, well, my other one's made of iron.
Yeah. Can't really just bring that.
All right, so this is one of those times where I messed up, okay? I thought something and it wasn't true.
No.
Okay? Shoot me.
You're like just shuffling cards right now.
All right, I messed up. I thought something that wasn't true, okay?
Yeah.
It's some sort of deja vu that I'm having. Where I remember something similar.
I think you're a Skrull.
Could it possibly have been from the trailer from this show?
I feel like that's potentially true.
I bet you it is. And if so, that's hilarious. All right.
This is what happens when...
I hope I didn't turn my mic down. I was caressing it.
When we lose our producer and we're just...
Yeah, I know. We've got to do everything from home. I got Jarvis rolling around on my feet. All right.
It's a mess. Children
really great.
Walking in.
Yeah, really great conversation though, where there's kind of like a power struggle here, and people, not power struggle, I guess, but they're kind of going at each other, trying to stand up.
Well, right up until Rhodes fires him.
Yeah, Rhodes fires Nick Fury. This is a Rhodes that was very calm and calculated in other movies, like when he was in like the Iron Man movies and stuff. And now he's just a bit of a badass.
Yeah.
Like, not in the suit even.
No.
He's just a bit of a like powerhouse of a guy.
Yeah. He's like, yo, I'm a representative of the US.
Yeah.
And I volunteered to come here and fire you.
Yeah. He knew about the Skrull.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing that Fury's telling him is new. Right? And he's pretty much saying, you're old news. You did this to yourself. Moscow was a big shit show.
Yep.
You're fired. And then possibly one of the coolest lines from Nick Fury is when he stands up and he goes, even when I'm out, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Even when I'm out, I'm in.
After
he breaks random dudes' fingers.
Oh yeah, like that's when I was like, okay, maybe he hasn't lost it. He hasn't lost his touch as bad as people think. All right. The thing about Nick Fury is that sometimes when you think he's vulnerable, that's just part of his plan.
Yeah.
Right? If you threw him in a van and took him to your establishment, did you get him or did he let you get him?
Which is what he did in that first episode, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how he plays it.
And like, is he bullshitting or is he... Either way, you never know with this guy, right?
Well, I think the biggest thing that he has going for him right now is everybody thinks that he's old, washed up Nick Fury.
So he can play that.
Yeah. What is that now? That's not even a cup. That's like
I'm not even using my cup. It's just the pitcher that I was pouring into my cup.
What the hell? Jeez.
That's how lazy I got. All right.
Just quit.
So back at the Skrull base and stuff like that,
nuclear compound.
They've got a Skrull, a scientist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is that scientist?
I'm not sure who that scientist is
because they mention her, and
they have they bring her up on the screen and stuff like that, and I'm not sure who she is or if she has any relevance
I feel like she's something from Fantastic Four.
That would be fantastic.
Wouldn't it?
All right. But they are doing some experiments, and right away I get the feeling of what they're doing, and I instantly am hoping for it because I'm a big fan of it. They are trying to build or to create the Super Skrull.
Rosa Dalton.
Now, does Rosa Dalton have any significance?
I'm gonna do my thing.
Because I wondered, but I couldn't put the time into figuring it out.
Oh, yeah.
I just couldn't. All right. But she is trying to make them stronger. Okay, which is creating the Super Skrull. Okay. Now a lot of people might remember that that Fantastic Four Super Skrull where they take on all the parts of the Super Skrull or of the Fantastic Four. I wanted to depict the Skrull taking on many a power and stuff like that, right? And during that scene, Nick Fury brings up why they can't have the Avengers called upon like for this, because they would end up getting mixed up in it. They would end up getting replaced, and now you've got a whole bunch of super-powered Skrull, which would be just fantastic, wouldn't it? All right. Did we find any information about that character?
But they wouldn't be able to be super powered just because they transform into them. I think Nick Fury's big worry is that they turn into something that looks like them and then do some asshole shit. And then.
Yeah. But then, I mean, that's without knowing that this is actually going on. Right? Because you've got these Super Skrulls and they are trying. You don't have Super Skrulls yet, but they are trying to find the pieces to make them, right? And then we see a screen where we have the DNA that they've collected from our good buddy Groot. All right. And then also a Frost Beast from the Frost Giants.
Yeah.
Right? So we've got Groot here, and may I say that this is a Hot Toys that I must have.
Yeah.
This is a picture of the Hot Toys Groot from Guardians 3, and it has to be mine.
I feel like even if you don't know who Groot is, you can appreciate that toy.
Yeah. And if you don't know who Groot is by now, you got to learn. All right. This is just an amazing, it's an amazing photo, let alone toy or action figure. And then we've got the Frost Beast, which is just enormous. You're going to gain a lot of power from that. Right. What else we're going to gain from that? I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
I almost
look how badass it is.
I almost wonder why it wouldn't be a Frost Giant.
Right.
That they were taking DNA from, right? Another thing we see on the screen is the hand of Call Obsidian, right? This bulking Hulk here. You're going to get a lot of... you're going to get a lot from that. Like, why aren't they just taking the Hulk's DNA?
Well, how are you going to get it?
I don't know.
I feel like any of his DNA is pretty well secured.
Yeah. Plus, a lot of this stuff, if you look at it, I don't know if it says it here, it's all like DNA based. I don't know if the Skrull can attach to certain DNAs.
Can you kick back? Kick back to... yeah. So, all acid-based?
Yeah.
Deoxydricoblock acid-based?
Yeah, what you said.
Yeah.
So that might be a thing, right? It might be a reoccurring... yeah. Mm-hmm. So there may be certain aspects that are needed. so who knows? Like, is there like certain ones like cosmic based, entities that they can't use?
Could be.
Right.
Which,
So
throws out that whole Fantastic Four jam that they do.
yeah. So yeah,
Where
that's just like theorizing or just talking about that stuff. There's a good chance that it's very limited what they can't use. And then the last one is the
acid based.
Yeah, acid based again, right? So there is a theme there. There's a theme for sure. Yeah, that's a deep dive.
So because people are all shady about the whole Fantastic Four, and everybody thought that the Fantastic Four would make their first appearance in Secret Invasion, blah 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 blah, because Super Skrull was
a combination of the Fantastic Four
of them. Is that an issue? Like, because we were talking about this briefly prior to the show, is that we're getting most of those kind of effects.
Yeah, we're getting most of those attributes.
And so Super Skrull was his own jam.
Yeah, Super Skrull, I believe, there are Super Skrull, and then there is the character Super Skrull, I believe. Whether it goes by any other name, I can't recollect. But that's Super Skrull character is the combination of those characters, right? Super Skrull come in many different, forms, right? They could take on all different powers, right? So we were saying that they have a lot of these powers, right? We've got the kind of stretchiness with Groot. We've got the power and stuff like that and the durability from the Frost Beast and Corvus.
Call.
Right?
It was.
You
said he was the guy that was standing beside.
Yeah. And then we've got the Extremis.
Yeah.
Extremis, right? And now if anybody remembers,
and I didn't, to be fair,
these are the characters from I think Iron Man 3. They were kind of experimental, and their blood would boil and stuff, and they would regrow, but then it would be too much for them, and they would explode.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They were the new super soldier kind of things.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where you get your flame on.
Yeah.
Kind of too, right? Whether that's intentional or not, I'm not really sure. But it is there.
I feel like they're just leaning into the whole, pulling from all kinds of different DNA and making Skrulls extra.
Also, power. I think they're just super trying to pull from the different Marvel properties too, right? Yeah. They want it. They're trying to pull from here and here and connect all these things. Is one of the main reasons they've used these particular characters, right? Are we boring you?
No.
All right. And then, is there a lot else to say about this episode? Before we.
No, I don't think so. I think that solidifies most of the jam.
Yeah, I think the big thing here is that this terrorist organization is growing, and they're making their civilization and the Skrull are going to get a lot stronger.
Yeah,
they're going to be a lot bigger of a threat, and this war between Russia and the States that is being conjured is getting closer and closer to happening.
And I mean, Gravik has some great points when he's talking about it, like humanity was already on its way to extinction just based on how they were moving through the world, and it really touches on a lot of the like real world stuff that's going on, which
for sure,
like climate change and just general overpopulation and war and stuff like that. So it's something that I continuously, I think, when we're watching these shows, I talk about is the fact that they do touch on a lot of real world
all the
issues as
real
we're
world
going through.
issues, and they kind of make it feel realistic at
Yeah.
that point because
Yeah.
of those issues, right?
As long as you believe in those issues and don't think it's
Yeah,
fake, you know?
as long as you don't believe that the world is flat.
Yeah. Right.
And if you do, that's fine, but
It's
it's
cool.
not. And then it kind of ends off by us meeting the formerly mentioned wife
Mm-hmm.
of Nick Fury. He's mentioned it once before.
So my wife asked me, "Do you think he knows she's a Skrull?" And I said, "Of course he knows she's a Skrull."
Because she changes when he comes in,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think he knows.
Oh, for sure.
He knows, right? And here's the thing: is of all the people, why would she? For what reason would she have to hide that?
Right. Also, this really, I've never thought about it, but plays into my fantasy about
Samuel L.
dating,
Jackson.
about Samuel L. Jackson, dating Mystique.
Yeah.
Because I think she's super awesome blue, but also, you know, she can be whoever she feels like at the time too. So
Yeah.
it's great.
It's
genius.
Is Mystique a Skrull?
No.
Stop it. Somebody's gonna say
Don't
it.
do that.
Somebody's gonna say it. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
All right. You know, because we're gonna have the mutants fairly soon, I'm hoping. So
they sprinkled it.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's
fantastic.
Time. It's time.
Fantastic. We're gonna have to let you know what we felt about this. A little bit of a banana rating.
That's right.
You go ahead.
So I'm watching. I realize everybody's talking about superhero fatigue and stuff, and
I'm not feeling
it. I don't feel it. Like, and I mean, realistically, I've been watching superhero stuff since what, like, easily the mid '90s, and probably before, when I was watching like old Spider-Man cartoons and stuff like that. Everybody want to shit on superhero stuff because they feel like they've gotten enough of it. Then we'll quit pouring in millions of dollars and
fine.
We'll stop watching it. I don't know.
Go watch another Fast and the Furious movie.
Is this for me? Oh my god, the Fast and the Furious! Please don't. Is this for me? Up there in like my favorites. I love Nick Fury. I love Maria. I love.
And this is the story of Nick Fury right now.
But that said, and not because of superhero fatigue or anything else, I am going to roll this lower than I generally roll a lot of the things.
Agreed.
And I'm gonna throw it at like an easy 7. Like it's something that I'm going to continue watching and I'm engaged in watching. Am I as excited about the next episode as I am about some things? No. But I'm gonna watch it and I enjoy it. So it's like watching, for me, I enjoy watching Yellowstone. And I know lots of people are way up here about Yellowstone. I enjoy watching it and I'll watch the next episode. That's where I'm at with Secret Invasion.
So what I'll say is that I'll agree with you on a lot of your points. I am enjoying the show. Okay. But it's not my favorite Marvel show.
Yeah.
It's great. I love Nick Fury. Like I said, I don't want to see him go. You got to realize that eventually Samuel's going to be done playing the part.
Yeah.
But it's not one of those shows where I found a lot of other of the Marvel shows. I was watching it on Wednesday. I watched it for the first time today.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't rushing to I wasn't rushing home to watch it.
To be fair, I watched mine yesterday, but currently I am obsessed with Diablo 4.
Yes.
And have been playing the heck out of it when I could be watching shows. So
yes. So I'm gonna throw this. You gave it a 7. I'm gonna throw it at a 6.
Yeah.
6.5. I'm gonna go with 6.5. Okay. Because it is good, and I think it serves a purpose, and I think it's gonna get better.
Yeah.
Okay.
But is it blowing your mind?
It's not blowing my mind right now.
Are you like, I need to watch it?
But I am enjoying
as soon as it comes out.
No. So that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. If you want to see a little bit of Diablo stuff, I'll post a little bit of a clip from a session that Grim didn't know I was filming.
What?
Yeah. So we'll see you guys soon.
If you want to see more Diablo stuff, I'm gonna probably start throwing on some things on my Grim Games channel with Raccoon who wanted.
We'll leave all that good stuff in the description if you want to check it out, and we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah. Peace. Love you guys.
Bye now.
Don't do that. Why are you doing it? Stop.
You don't do that.
What's this?
You don't do that.
What is that? What is it?
I don't know.
Get out of here.